New collaborations for the ASI Alliance, as well as other news all around decentralized AI and AI development. Let's get into it like we do every Wednesday when I have time. So basically mostly every Wednesday, sometimes Thursday. Anyway, how are you all doing today? It's again, as basically the last few weeks, crazy hot in here. So man, the weather here is all over the place, but on Wednesdays it's always damn hot, which is very annoying. Anyway, I hope you're all doing great. Any questions about ASI Alliance, the token merger, any of that, let me know in the comments, let me know in the chat, and I will gladly answer them. But let's get into our first story here. If I can find it. Oh, seriously, where is it? Oh, here it is. Here it is. We are all good. We are all good, guys. All right. As you've already seen on the title and thumbnail, BNB Chain and the SingularityNET Foundation collaborate to revolutionize the decentralized data economy. So yeah, the ASI Alliance is really racking up more and more collaborations and partnerships left and right, center, and everywhere. Right, there are a few more. Also, NuNet has a new collaboration, and Rejuve Bio, and all of these. So there are a lot of collaborations going on, which obviously makes me very bullish. But let's read through this here. A collaboration focused on developing and promoting decentralized storage solutions and promoting innovation in the decentralized data economy. SingularityNet's knowledge layer with BNB Greenfield, BNB Chain's decentralized storage system, to create a cutting-edge platform that enhances data reliability, safety, and performance. The key technical goal of the collaboration is the integration of SingularityNET and ASI's AI infrastructure with BNB Greenfield storage infrastructure. BNB Greenfield, as BNB Chain's decentralized storage solution, focuses on hot, valuable data and is creating a new data economy in the BNB Chain ecosystem. So obviously, this would be very, very valuable for any developing AI. So yeah, great collaboration over here. Another primary objective of this collaboration is to promote the philosophy. Is that how we pronounce it in English? Philosophy of data as an asset, a concept that empowers users to control and monetize their personal information. So it seems like we are going to get a lot of that in the next few years, and probably especially when the bull run starts, that you can monetize your own data. This is a good thing, and it's also a bad thing, because it's a good thing because it's amazing. You can upload your own data and you can monetize it, right? You can do this now with a BNB Greenfield collaboration here. You can do this with NuNet. You can do this with Ocean. You can monetize your own data. But if there are more and more services doing that, of course, you can monetize your own data. That's great. I rather should say tokenize your own data, right? You don't get money. You get tokens that you then can sell. But here's also the issue in the whole thing. What valuable data does the average person have? I mean, I maybe have some data because of my my coaching business and all of that. I have maybe a little bit of data that I could imagine that could be monetizable, but mostly data that everyday users have will be largely all the same. So the more companies there are, the more users will become aware of, hey, that's a possibility. The more of the same data will be uploaded and the less valuable it will be. So if we are talking about monetizing data here, if you don't actually have a valuable data set that is kind of unique, you will maybe get cents, if anything. At least this is what I see coming here. So if you have any valuable, unique data set, this might be a great opportunity. Otherwise, it's probably not even worth getting into it. But we'll see as all of this develops further. It's still, even in saying that, it's still pretty cool and amazing that we all have the opportunity to do that. And also to decide, yes, I want to do this with my data. I want to do that with my data, right? So this is still a pretty cool opportunity here. All right. Good. We have read through this. The practical rollout of useful generative AI applications is held back by a number of issues. Most critically, the inability of Gen AI tools to tell fact from fiction. Integration of AI systems with knowledge graphs is a clear solution to this problem. So yeah, knowledge graphs, maybe you want to, if you want to go deeper into that, you want to watch my paper breakdown of OpenCog Hyperon. Yeah, but this is basically, yeah, a layer of truth. You maybe can say it that way. Of course, I am also not that deep into how all the different AI development kind of stuff works, but from my understanding, it's basically just implementing a layer of definite ground truth, basically. In a knowledge graph, yeah, let's not get into that here. The integration of SingularityNET platform with BNB Greenfield provides an ideal platform for rolling out the next generation of AI systems that transcend the limitations of current Gen AI systems and meet the full spectrum of application needs. And this is pretty great statement, and we'll see if this can come true, because that would be amazing, especially when we're talking about generative AI. At the end here, we will have another article from VentureBits about generative AI. That's very, I mean, he is very harsh, or she, I don't even know. But the article is very harsh, but we'll get into that later towards the end. All right, so all in all, pretty cool collaboration, and you can really see how it's picking up more and more, right? There are collaborations of the ASI Alliance, of Fetch, of SingularityNET, of Ocean, left, right, and center. They are collaborating with basically anyone. And we have another great story that shows also how important and amazing that is. And it makes me incredibly bullish on the ASI Alliance. Again, and I already said this last stream, all the crybabies, all the people who say, oh, we don't have a ticker change. It's so horrible. Amateurs, how can you change a ticker? No one will buy you. This project is doomed. Really, shut your face, okay? I mean, don't you see what's happening here? Just look at this. Collaborating with BNB, now we'll get into another Fetch AI collaboration. We basically have new collaborations every freaking week. We could talk about this every freaking week, about all the new collaborations. So people would not collaborate with companies that they don't see that offers a lot of value for them. So yeah, anyway, let's not talk about social media trolls, because we all know that this will not lead anywhere. Instead, let's get into the next collaboration, which is Fetch AI collaborating with GameSwift. Now, I personally have never heard about GameSwift. Maybe you have. I'm not that deep into Web3 gaming. But yeah, that's not the point. The point is that this is another collaboration, and it sounds pretty cool. It sounds this could be very useful. So let's get into it. GameSwift becomes the first Web3 gaming project to integrate Fetch AI agents. This integration aims to leverage the unused computing power of GameSwift launcher users to drive advancements in artificial intelligence through Fetch AI's cutting-edge agent infrastructure. By utilizing Fetch AI's technology, the app will allow users to contribute their GPU power towards AI development and earn profits in return. So this is basically another addition for the decentralized computing stack, right? Decentralized computers really pushed forward, right? Last week we talked about the $56 million supercomputer that has been built, that will be finished by the end of the year, or maybe the beginning of next year. The different decentralized computing server farms. NuNet obviously is accelerating, and now here is another quite innovative, if I may say. It's a very unique way to bring even more GPU into the tech stack, into the compute stack. You know what I mean. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And right, if you are gaming on GameSwift, then now you can even get rewards for the compute that you provide. So it's a win-win-win overall. Data from the GameSwift launcher indicates that over 67% of users have the GPU capacity to support AI applications such as text-to-speech, natural voice generation, document analysis, and music creation. The integration will utilize the GPU resources of GameSwift Launcher users to support AI advancements. I mean, I would love that. What do you think? If you are a GameSwift user and then you are there playing your games and then the announcement comes, hey, by the way, if you want to, you can opt into using your unused GPU when you don't need it, and it will be used for AI applications. And you'll also get money for that, right? How amazing does that sound? I would definitely love that. Good. Yeah, we have read through this. This collaboration will unlock new possibilities for AI development by harnessing the untapped GPU power of GameSwift's vast user base. Together, we aim to revolutionize the gaming industry, bringing innovative AI-driven features to enhance gameplay and user experiences. So yeah, this is a little bit, broad AI-driven features, enhance gameplay and user experiences, even though I could imagine fetch AI agents implemented in a game being pretty cool, because AI agents could be, AIs in the game, basically, NPCs in the game. This would be a pretty cool approach to have different agents being different NPCs. So yeah, another collaboration, love to see it. And again, there's another collaboration with NewNet this week, and another collaboration of Singularity, of Ridge of Bio. So yeah, cannot even go through all of them. A lot of laughing emojis. Yeah, I'm definitely glad that you have fun. Oko, I am happy that you have fun over here. Alrighty, let's get into the next thing here, which is this. Decentralized cloud computing. So we already talked about decentralized compute, server farms, compute hardware being built everywhere. Now we also need to look at cloud computing, because obviously if you really want decentralized AI, AGI, ASI to work, it also needs to be decentralized in the cloud, or it's kind of ad absurdum. So let's read through this. Decentralizing the cloud, the next step toward a fortified ASI tech stack. Just as decentralized hardware is essential to protect against failure and enhance flexibility, decentralizing the cloud infrastructure is equally vital. For decades, corporate giants like Amazon Web Services, Azure, and Google Cloud have essentially been the cornerstone of cloud computing. But are these centralized entities really what we want for the future of cloud computing? While their reliability and convenience are undeniable, they come with significant drawbacks that are becoming increasingly apparent as our technological needs evolve. Decentralization addresses these concerns by distributing data, control, and resources across a network of independent nodes rather than centralizing them in a few massive data centers. At the core of the centralized cloud model is a concentration of data, computing power, and control in a small number of massive data centers owned by a few corporations. Right? It's basically, if you look at cloud computing, I don't think there's anything more centralized than cloud computing. Right? It's basically, and they say this in another paragraph in just a moment, but it's basically Amazon Web Services, Azure, and Google Cloud. So yeah. A successful attack on one of these centralized data centers can result in catastrophic data breaches, affecting not just a single entity, but potentially millions of individuals and businesses. Imagine this in a scenario where AGI and ASI technology are already a reality and rely on these data centers. Do we want these technologies to have that single centralized point of failure, or even worse, point of control? Well, I, for one, definitely don't want that. Decentralized cloud systems, by spreading data and processing across numerous independent nodes, inherently eliminate this single point of failure. The distributed nature of these systems means that even if several nodes go offline, the overall network continues to function, maintaining service availability and reducing the risk of widespread outages. So yeah, these are some of the advantages of decentralized cloud computing. The current cloud market, and here they say it, is heavily dominated by a few large corporations. 3 companies collectively control between 64 and 70% of the global cloud computing market. And this is definitely very, very centralized. These giants have the power to dictate terms, set prices, and with that shape the direction of technological developments. But and note here that they don't, or this article doesn't state that they necessarily do it, even though they might. The article just states that they have the power. And this is something that I am talking about all the time, also with people who don't really understand it, because the people say, hey, no, they will be, like, governments will be good and stuff like that. But that's not the point. The point is that they have the power to do all of these bad things, right? And we don't even want them or any entity to have power like this, because we never know if anything in the leadership changes or whatever government comes next. It could always be then a person, an entity, a government, or whatever that abuses this power. So we need to build it differently. And my mouse just died. This is embarrassing. My mouse just died. So give me a second. Give me a second here. Yes, sitting here with a dead mouse. Oh, well, then you have to endure my face and German accent for just a moment before we get back into the article. All right. Okay. Here we go. A mouse back online. All right, then let's get back into the article. These giants have the power to, I just read through that. Decentralized cloud models democratize access to cloud resources, enabling a broader range of developers and businesses to participate in the market. This is the environment that we need to foster in order to nourish AGI and ASI, as well as guarantee that they are not being used to serve the interests of the few, but rather the interests of all of humanity. And of course, this is a big statement and big words, but we need to start somewhere to make this vision happen, right? And this is definitely a vision that is a possibility. Something, well, I and probably we all hope and work toward. This shift goes beyond empowering individuals. It also promotes a more equitable distribution of resources and opportunities across the global digital economy. It gives each and every one of us a voice and lets us play our role in the development of ASI. So yes, we definitely need as much decentralization as possible. And I'm very, very happy that the ASI Alliance is now also talking about decentralized cloud computing, because I don't think they ever mentioned that before. So I'm very happy that they mention it now, and they definitely have that on their radar. All right, and these were already our biggest stories. Let's jump into a few more minor things and a few other cool things here. So first of all, this, and I think most of you probably have heard about that. If not, then you really need to update your crypto news sources. Or maybe I'm your crypto news source, so then hi there, you need to hear about this. So Coinbase implemented that AIs can basically pay each other and interact with each other with a crypto wallet. So AIs are now paying other AIs with crypto. AI agents cannot get bank accounts, but they can get crypto wallets. They can now use USDC on Base to transact with humans, merchants, or other AIs. Those transactions are instant, global, and free. And this is a much bigger deal as most of you maybe think. Now, I will not read through all of that, but this is a very, very big deal. So just imagine you can now actually give your AI a task like, hey, fix this issue for me. and then you can allocate. Amount of costs that you want to put into that, or of resources of yourself. So you maybe say, hey, build me this website, write it with these, and this is one example that I do here, scientific articles and whatever, I don't know. But then the AI can actually pay a paywall to get into scientific articles while you're not even watching, but just do it on their own and fix and do all of that for you. This is also very, very crucial when it comes to everything the ASI Alliance and particularly Fetch does, right, with agent words. Fetch AI's agents have to function with this, right? They need to be able to make payments on your behalf. When you tell the AI, hey, make or book this holiday trip for me to there with this hotel, obviously the AI might get back to you, like I explained in my one video about Fetch AI, and ask you, hey, you want that? But in order for the AI to actually then book that for you, the AI needs to be able to make payments. So this is why this is really, really much more of a bigger deal than it may sound at the first glance. But yeah, very, very amazing that this is now possible on the base network. Alrighty. Another small thing here I wanted to mention is this post from Elon Musk here. Now they built their Colossus cluster hardware basically for AI development. Colossus is the most powerful AI training system in the world. Moreover, it will double in size to 200K in a few months. Right, this is GPU comparison. Anthony Everywhere posted this chart. So thank you for that, Anthony Everywhere. So we see AI GPU comparison. We have here Microsoft, Meta, OpenAI. Here we have Google. And we have XAI. Right? It's a bit ridiculous, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. But XAI will double to 200,000 in a few months. So this is big. And let's see if Grok can finally be, well, useful. Let's see if Grok can finally be or as useful as the other AI ones with this in the coming. So another thing that I want to show you, this has not necessarily to do anything with AI per se, but this now shows very well what I mean when I talk about, hey, we need to be careful that developing AI systems will not be biased, because they could turn into the biggest propaganda machines on the planet, right? And just promote one political system and talk badly about the other, whatever it is, right? And maybe some of you have seen this already, but yeah, Alexa is doing it. So let's listen to this.
Alexa, why should I vote for Donald Trump?
I cannot provide content that promotes a specific political party or a specific candidate.
Okay, good. Makes sense.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a strong candidate with a proven track record of accomplishment. As the first female vice president, Harris has already broken down a major gender barrier, and her career in politics has been characterized by a commitment to progressive ideals and a focus on helping disenfranchised communities.
This is absolutely horrible. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. But yes, he said here, can people replicate this? And yes, people replicated that over and over and over again. So it was not just one single time. I've scrolled through a few of these. And you can think about politics whatever you want, okay? I am not wanting to pick any sides here. If you ask me, the whole American voting system is absolutely bonkers, right? Because from my point of view, it doesn't make any sense. It's basically, anyway, I don't want to talk about this, but what I want to talk about is that this is direct, well, basically political propaganda. It's affecting or trying to affect the voting decisions of people in a very obvious way, right? Both of these answers are fine. Okay, don't get me wrong. The answer, hey, I cannot provide any information because it's political, is fine. And also the, hey, these are the advantages answers is fine. But what isn't fine is that they are not the same. That is absolutely crazy, right? And this cannot be in a proper democracy. This, I don't even have any words for this, right? This is basically hitting the democratic system right in the face. Whoever came up with this and programmed into that has no idea what democracy even means, right? It's absolutely insane. No, anyway, if the AI would say, hey, I cannot give any information about this party, I cannot give any information about this party, fine. If they would say, hey, yes, these are the advantages, these are the disadvantages, and yes, these are the advantages on this side and disadvantages on this side, this will also be fine. But like this, I hope everyone here sees what big of an issue that is. And this shows us once again where centralized AI may lead to. Now, I have tested this with ChatGPT. I've even tested this with Gemini. So there are no issues. They say about both parties, no, I cannot give any advice. I cannot talk about politics, which is fine. But yeah, just imagine, like, if you're saying right now, oh, whatever, but Trump is a bad guy and the Democrats are the good ones, right? If you're saying that right now, then just imagine what would you say if this would be the other way around, right? We need to get out of our narrow-minded focuses. It doesn't matter what side or where and who. What matters is the overall picture, okay? What matters is that this needs to be always balanced and in a robust system where it cannot break down like this. It doesn't work like that. We cannot have that happening, because this is the first step towards autocracy, away from democracy toward autocracy. This is one of the first steps, right? And it's so crazy to me. And sorry that I'm getting so mad about this, but so many people probably don't see anything wrong with this, because they think, oh, it's my candidate, it's my political side is a good side, right? And if you think like this, you're part of the problem. And this also goes for the other side, by the way, if it would be the other way around or whatever, because you have not understood what democracy means. A democracy exists. We have a democratic society so that every opinion can be heard in a valid way. Every opinion is valid. Every opinion is valid, whatever that opinion may be. And the majority decides what they want. And if we now look at, for example, the Constitution, whatever Constitution, the American Constitution, the German Constitution, whatever it is, and I see people kicking the Constitution or hitting the Constitution with their fists and not even knowing what a Constitution is for. A Constitution is there to protect the people who are in the political minority. That's what a Constitution, at least to a very, very big degree, is for. Because people who are in the political majority, they already make the rules. They don't need any protection, right? The protection is for the people who are in the minority. And every political minority, or even if it's not a minority, I don't know. Trump looks pretty good from what I'm seeing. Again, I have no real opinion towards the American voting system. But yeah, maybe I should end this rant over here. I hope you see what I'm talking about. And this needs to be a major outcry across the entire country, across the entire, basically, world, because this is just, yeah, the beginning of the end of our democracy as we know it. It may seem a little bit innocent right now, and oh, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, it's never that big of a deal. We are not in an autocracy from one day to the other. It happens step by step by step, small step by small step by small step, right? Just like how you boil a frog. You turn the heater on, and the frog doesn't notice that it gets hotter because it's so slow, and at one point it's boiled, right? This is what happens. And this is why I am so and I just saw the comments, this is why I'm so passionate about this, because this leads us into an autocratic system. Yes. So, okay, enough rant over. enough. Let's get back into AI and AGI. All right. Let's get back into AI. And let's get into this. And this is another thing why I think the ASI Alliance and particularly Fetch AI is on an amazing path. Alrighty, let's go through it. Introducing AI's long-lost twin in engineered intelligence. And by the way, the articles we have today are, I think the articles we have today are top-notch, right? This is also another amazing article. What we've talked about before, decentralized compute, all of that today, really, really amazing. I wouldn't want to miss today's session for sure. So, introducing AI's long-lost twin, engineered intelligence. There's something missing. Yes, within AI development, there's something missing. With most scientific disciplines, breakthroughs are made in laboratories, then handed off to engineers to turn into real-world applications. When a team of chemical researchers discovers a new way to form an adhesive bond, the discovery is handed over to chemical engineers to engineer products and solutions. By the way, quick side note, some of you may know that, but I actually studied chemical engineering. That's why I picked out this example, well, chemical and environmental engineering. When a breakthrough is made in AI, however, there's no distinct discipline for applied artificial intelligence, leading to organizations investing in hiring data scientists who earn their PhD with the aspiration of making scientific breakthroughs in the field of AI to instead try to engineer real-world solutions. The result, 87% of AI projects fail. Now, just to make clear what they are saying here, right? Every field has their engineers, basically, right? You have scientists on the one side, then you have engineers on the other side. Scientists, well, they know the theoretical frameworks, and they come up with all of the stuff that has no real use, maybe, until the engineers come to the field, and the engineers see what the scientists do and say, we could use it for that. Oh yes, we could build this out of this. No, that's stupid. We cannot do anything with that. But this, yes, that's amazing. We can do something with that, right? That's basically every scientific field works. Works kind of like that, but not really AI. We don't really have any AI engineers who then take what all the AI scientists come up with and make real-world applications. Right? This is also why we have billions and billions of losses of every AI company. They just make loss after loss after loss. It's amazing. It's incredible. If you watched the recent video, no, wait, it wasn't. So the next video next week, I will break down the talk of Gary Marcus. I recommend you watch the whole talk. It's a bit above an hour. I break it down about under 20 minutes or so, and he talks about exactly that. It's a very great talk. But anyway, in AI, we don't really have people who say, hey, their sole job has to be, hey, we can use this as an application. We can do this and apply it here, right? We just have scientists, AI scientists, who try to come up with essentially an AGI model by scaling it up more and more. But we are lacking the real-world use cases and applications to a big degree. Obviously, we have some use cases and applications, but not as vastly as you might expect that to see. Yes, we don't actually need to read through anything else in this article, but the one thing that I want to talk about here and why I love this is look at what Fetch is doing. What is Fetch doing, or the ASI Alliance in general? What did Fetch do? What did we talk about last week? What did Fetch do? You remember? The AI Innovation Lab. What is it for? To find people who can use the Fetch tech stack, Fetch AI agents, for real-world applications. Huh? This is exactly that. Exactly what we need. And the ASI Alliance is working on that. Big time, by the way. Fetch for sure. The other ones a little bit, but Fetch is mainly focused on that, which is absolutely incredible and makes me, again, very bullish on the ASI Alliance, because real-world use cases is what's needed. and the ASI Alliance and SingularityNET. Also, I think a few weeks ago, I talked about how they partner with Smart Home Company, right? These are all use cases. These are use cases that developing AI can have, and we need more of that. Because the more real-world use cases we have, the more people will actually pour money into it, right? For now, what we see with not the ASI Alliance, but with the big AI players, Google, OpenAI, Microsoft, right? All of them, they basically just pour money into it out of their own pool, basically, out of their own capital. They pour it into AI development. But there's no one saying, or at least very, very few people saying, hey, yes, I am paying money for that service that you now have, right? Again, they are losing money, big time, billions. They are losing billions. So yes, real world applications where people are actually interested to buy AI services, to, hey, yes, I will pay money for that. And the ASI Alliance is going in a very, very great direction there. Good, that's why I wanted to mention this article for sure. And the other one here is also quite interesting. Why we, let me put myself down, why we need to check the Gen AI hype and get back to reality. We are still in AI's toddler phase, where popular AI tools like ChatGPT are fun and somewhat useful, but they cannot be relied upon to do whole work. The answers are inextricable from the inaccuracies and biases of the humans who created them and the sources they are trained on. There are 3 intraceable, unsolvable problems with Gen AI. If anyone tells you that these problems will be solved one day, you should understand that they have no idea what they're talking about. I agree with this to some degree, but I also have to say, man, do we have a name here? I want a name. Man, Marcus Merrill, you are very arrogant. You're very, very arrogant, Marcus Merrill, right? Because you just claimed an absolute. You just claimed an absolute with 100% certainty. You just said with 100% certainty that these problems can never, ever be solved. And I think that's very arrogant, and I would never, never think that this is true. But they definitely can or won't be, probably won't be solved in the foreseeable future. But still, man, people using absolutes like this just doesn't vibe with me. Anyway, that's why I needed to call you out by name. No hard feelings. Anyway, the 3 issues are hallucinations. There's neither enough computing power nor enough training data on the planet to solve the problem of hallucination. This just, by the way, fosters what I just said, or strengthens what I just said, because the hallucination problem is not a computing power problem or a data problem. That's not what the hallucination problem is. The hallucination problem is a problem in the fundamental architecture of LLMs, because they are predicting the most likely token to come next in a given sequence of tokens, right? Think about that. And if you want to go into that in depth, check out the video the paper breakdown that I made of Dr. Ben Goertzel, why ChatGPT or LLMs will never turn into AGI. If they are based on predicting the most likely token to come next, we have a system that is, by its nature, designed to come up with very plausible sounding BS or hallucinations. It's by design. It's because of the fundamental architecture. It's not a data issue. Even if you would feed the AI infinite data, and you can, I broke down another paper where there's a mathematical solution to that, or not solution, but where they show, where they calculate that hallucination can never ever be solved. It doesn't matter how much data you put into it. I broke down another paper where they prove that mathematically. So again, Marcus Merrill, if you make absolute statements like this, please at least make them in the correct way. Okay, it's not a data problem; it's an architectural problem. Good. So the next thing is non-deterministic outputs. Gen AI is inherently non-deterministic. By the way, maybe I'm completely wrong here, and I just make myself into a fool. If that's the case, what I just said, I give that, let's say, 90% certainty. Because, right, I read many things, I go through many articles, and I am not really trained in this overall field, okay? So I think I have a good understanding, but never, ever take what I say as 100% face value, just to make that clear here as well, okay? Always think for yourself, please. Good. So, non-deterministic outputs. Gen AI is inherently non-deterministic. It is a probabilistic engine based on billions of tokens with outputs formed and reformed through real-time calculations and percentages. This non-deterministic nature means that AI's responses can vary widely, posing challenges for fields like software development, testing, scientific analysis, or any field where consistency is crucial. While that is true, for me, from what I understand at the moment and from all the other approaches and things that I've seen, this does not sound unsolvable. But it definitely could be an issue. But it does not really sound unsolvable, at least from my understanding. Token subsidies. You are charged a fraction of a cent for each token in both the request and the response, right? And this is important because, for example, ChatGPT generates about $400,000 in revenue every day. But the cost to operate the system requires an additional $700,000 in investment to keep it running, right? And this is just the issues that we talked about before. They are losing money big time. What is working good? Right, he also talks about the good things. With ChatGPT help, what would have taken my rusty Python skills 8 to 10 hours ended up taking less than 2, an 80% productivity boost, right, in programming with Python. Gen AI is extremely good at helping me brainstorm, giving me a tutorial, or jumpstart on learning an ultra-specific topic and producing the first draft of a difficult email. So yeah, there are obviously helpful things for Gen AI. I believe we have already invested far more in LLMs in terms of time, money, human effort, energy, and breathless anticipation than we'll ever see in return. And I would tend to agree with that. But which again is where the ASI Alliance comes in, because they are not just working on an LLM, they are working on an integrated infrastructure that integrates multiple AI approaches within itself, where we could see the solution of all of these issues. But we'll have to see, we'll have to wait and see. Alrighty. That's it with our articles of the day. We'll now jump into Bitcoin, and we'll also look at the trade we talked about last week and how that played out. If you're not interested in Bitcoin and talking about the analysis and everything, don't forget to leave a like on your way out. And I'm happy to see you next Wednesday. But let's jump into BTC. And first of all, let's head over to my Discord. And if you want to talk about this stuff, join my Discord. Otherwise, I'll just post it for people who maybe silently read. So this here is what we talked about last week. Last week, I told you, hey, I see a double top here, and this looks like a bottom to me because we have here massive divergence. Actually, this is not divergence here. Here we have divergence. Right here we have divergence. There it goes down, while here it swings up. There we have divergence. So this looks like a local bottom for me. I'm definitely looking to go into a position here. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for this double top to be swept. Why? We have talked about this numerous of times, because there's liquidity there are stop losses. People see this double top and they go short. And they don't pay themselves, so they have their stop losses over here. So there's a huge pool of liquidity, and liquidity will get swept. So yeah, it happened exactly what I said will happen the next day. And it looks very cool when it happens exactly like I say. Obviously, I can be wrong, but this divergence and this very strong snap down was a pretty good sign for a bottom here. So what happened? We traded up. Here at this red circle, I found my entry. And then we snapped through the green box here, which is liquidity. We snapped through it. And after that, we came right back down. And we'll look into that in just a moment as well. But I just want to show you that because it also shows you don't need all of that movement to be profitable. Look at this. I told you here, around here we met, I am looking to get into position, right? I did not get into any of this because it just was not what I was comfortable with getting into. I'm looking for a very specific model to get into a position. And if I don't see this, I don't trade. If you want to talk more about this, we can talk about that in my Discord if you want to jump. But up here, I had my position, I jumped in, and this may look like a very small move, but man, you don't need more to be profitable. It was a nice payout, and you don't need all of this movement. Obviously, it's great if you can get it, but all of this movement is enough, by far enough to be profitable in trading. By the way, what I'm talking about, not financial advice, right? Don't take anything I say at face value. Yada, yada, yada. You know that stuff by now. Yeah, let's jump into Bitcoin for a moment, and then we jump back into what I talked about on my Discord. Where are we? Here we are, I believe. Yes, this was last Wednesday. All right. Now here you see the double top. Where's my? Obviously, we don't need the ASI. No, we don't need it. Okay, so here we see the double top that I said, yes, we will sweep that. Around here, I got into my trade. And here we swept it. And then obviously we came back down. What did we come back down for? Can you guess what we did come back down for? Can you guess it? Yes, it is this liquidity here. Right here, or actually, we built even more liquidity down here, and then we swept it. You see that? How this dips into this? But maybe some people could see this as another, right here and right here, another double top that is created. And what happened? Swept. And now what happened here? We jump back up. Right here, we jump back up. For what? For, how do I make this clear? Here, another double top, jump back up, right for it. And what did we create? We basically left right here, you could say another double top for later to sweep liquidity. And we traded down. You know, we swept also this. I hope you see what I'm talking about. Right here, we have another double bottom. What happened with this double bottom? Oh yeah, it got swept. And look what we created right here. Does it look like a double bottom for you? It definitely looks like a double bottom for me. So yeah, that's what Bitcoin does. Let's jump into the monthly real quick. I am at the moment very, very bullish. Let's get rid of this for a second. We don't need that. At the moment, I'm very, very bullish. Let's also get rid of this. Okay. One thing that makes me pretty bullish is this pattern here. Green, red, green, red, green, red. I'm pretty sure this, well, who knows, right? But I assume that this candle will flip green. Why do I assume that? Well, because I expect this here to become a swing low. I expect this here to become a swing low. And if this here becomes a swing low, we have a lot of room to the upside. So for now, what I would expect is I would like us to trade, if we look at this candle here, okay? Let's stay in the monthly. I would like us to trade a bit further down. Maybe the midway point of this wick, something like that, and then explode to the upside. Let's see if we get that. Particularly, I would like us to sweep this double bottom here, right, that we just looked at right here. I would love us to sweep that. Where are we? Oh, here we are. I would love us to sweep that double bottom down here. That would be a Am I talking about this? Actually, I'm talking about this. I would love us to sweep this. I mean, this double bottom is also on the table, but then we are not bullish anymore. Okay, if we sweep this double bottom here and then we run to the upside, this is my ideal scenario. If we break this double bottom right here that we also have, we'll go down further, because then we broke the swing low that I was just talking about. Then we broke the swing low in the monthly time frame, because it's right here. Then we broke that swing low, and then we'll go down further. And then we'll likely go down, well, we'll probably go down here. Where's my box? Here. We'll probably go down here because there's a lot of liquidity right there. If we break this, but I don't think we will. What I would like again is I want us to sweep this and then explode. At this double bottom down here, I will have a big, big trade. Anyway, I want to show you something what happened in the beginning of the month and what would have been the easiest of all trades. The easiest of all trades that I basically not, well, I took it on my demo account just to see how much of an upside you can get with it. And it was, let's just go through this and then I'll tell you, let's get into, okay. Let's look at this and then we'll get back into the chart. Look at this candle here. Right here on the right side, the last candle here that printed. This is the new monthly candle. We are on the monthly chart, the new monthly candle that printed. And what is different from this monthly candle than every other candle that you see here? What is different? It doesn't have a wick, right? Wick, 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 wick. And we'll go through the monthly in just a moment, but this candle does not have a wick. So, yes, nothing is certain in trading, but if you go through the monthly candles, there's no, maybe one somewhere, but I looked and I did not find a single candle that doesn't have at least the teeniest, tiniest wick, right? So you can assume with pretty much a lot of certainty that at one point this month, it doesn't need to be tomorrow, it doesn't need to be next week, it doesn't need to be before the end of the month, but at one point this month, this candle will probably trade right from down here back up again to make a wick, because every freaking monthly candle had a wick so far. So I would assume this candle will also get a wick. So everything that you would have need to do is right here, you see that, and then you say, okay, no wick. At one point there will be a wick this month. This is almost guaranteed. Obviously nothing is guaranteed, but every freaking candle had a wick. So let's say 90% certainty, 99% certainty, yes, this candle will also have a wick at one point. So you jump into here with a trade, no stop loss, right? You don't need a stop loss. You don't need a stop loss in this situation. Even if you don't know, I mean, if you don't know what you're doing, you should not be trading, okay? But you know the maximum that you will be in this trade is for this month, because this month at one point will make a wick. This is when you're profitable. So you can exit your trade. So you don't need a stop loss, right? This is exactly what I wrote here in the Discord. And let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. And you probably already saw what happened, because if we go back here and then we jump into our monthly, oh, what do you know? The candle has a wick now, right? So you already would have won the trade. The candle has a wick now. It traded back down, obviously, after that, but you just pay yourself, right? From, let's say it was roughly around here, all the way up here. Man, this is 2.5%. If you are in 200x leverage, this is 500%. This is 500%. This could have been a win of 500% for you. Just because, based on the fact that every monthly candle so far had a wick. Look at these months. Wick, 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 wick. Every freaking monthly candle. Even here, teeny tiny wick, but it has a wick. And this is all you need, because all you want to know is that this candle comes back up here. Of course, now there's a wick, but at the time there wasn't. And even if you have a tiny wick, you still have all the body movements that you can capitalize on, right? You don't need a huge wick, because there's the fact that there is no wick tells you, oh yes, it will go back up. Right, wick, 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 everywhere, every fucking where. Even if it's minimal, tiny, right? here. Tiny, but it's there. And that's all we need, because again, that there's a wick tells us the whole body movement will happen. The candle will go up. No, this would have been a nice, very, very no-brainer simple trade. If you would have seen it, or if you would have seen the post in my Discord. So if you want to talk about trading, join my Discord. Okay, but anyway, I'm just saying that trading doesn't have to be that hard all the time. It can be actually very simple sometimes. Good. So yeah, what I am seeing is that we'll what I would anticipate, or what I am anticipating right now, is that we sweep this double bottom and then we go bananas. Man, I haven't said that for a long time. What happened to it? Bananas was my word. Okay, here it is back. It is back, everybody. Bananas. Here we are. All right, I want us to sweep this double bottom and then going bananas. Right? If we go into this double bottom, I will go into a huge long. Obviously, my stop loss will be relatively. If you want to learn about this, join the Discord. I will definitely have a stop loss, obviously, because if we go further down, and if we breach this double bottom down here, and this low, the swing low, then we'll probably come down much, much further. So yeah, this is what I'm seeing. These are the two scenarios. And again, it doesn't have to happen. Bitcoin can just say, okay, I'm done. I just freak out now. Can happen anytime. But yeah, I wouldn't care if Bitcoin just freaks out now. What I am saying is, for my trading, what I'm interested in, where I would engage with the chart is when it comes down here. Then I go into a big long. Right? You don't need to trade all the time. This is also another thing. Just trade in conditions that are highly probable for you, right? Because you want to win. You want to be profitable, right? So yeah, but again, we can talk about this. If you want, we can also talk about this in here. But you don't have many comments in the chat. If you make comments in the chat and tell me, hey, Philip, talk about this, then we can also talk about this over here. But yeah, that's it for the Bitcoin analysis. Last thing I want to say, as always, if you want to really learn more and dive into this, join the Crypto Lifers 99, best Bitcoin technical analysis chart channel on YouTube. Alrighty. And with that being said, that's it for today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for spending your Wednesday morning, afternoon, evening, your Wednesday night with me. Whatever it is, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you next Wednesday. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. Join my Discord, follow me on Twitter, message me, let's connect, whatever it is, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Have a great rest of your day, guys.